Thank you, Jackie, and thank you everyone who's been a participant in making sure that this bill moved forward. First of all, I want to say a huge thank you to the media. You know, had you guys not pulled back the curtain about what really happens in this building, this bill could have quietly died over 50 days ago. And so I want to thank you for bringing it forward, because I do believe that you align yourself with millions of Californians who came in contact with us regarding this bill, to make sure that sex traffickers of children were rightfully prosecuted, and these perpetrators were put behind bars, so that they would stay away from our children, specifically those that are repeat offenders. I want to thank the Assembly Appropriations Committee members who stood in defense of victims today and passed SB 14. I am excited that it has taken one step forward and it's moving to the floor for a full vote, where we have 64 co-authors, 46 of them, which are on the State Assembly floor. I know people are concerned or have questions about the amendments. The committee amendments affirm what's already in statute to protect victims from human trafficking. The Senate was okay with the language that was in the bill and passed it unanimously off the Senate floor. And so the language that was inserted this morning by the Appropriations Committee, like I said, just affirms to make sure that victims of human trafficking can't be wrapped up in the role of perpetrator. And that was never the intent of the bill, and that's why we had the standard language, the language that we had in there to protect them as well. As I mentioned on Wednesday, SB 14 unanimously passed the Senate, and mentions just briefly, we have 64 co-authors and we're looking forward to it. Because the amendments, the bill will go back after it gets off the Assembly floor. It goes back to the Senate floor and then to the governor's desk for hopefully signature, where he will invite some of our survivors to stand with him as if he signs this bill. I do want to say a special thank you to Odessa Perkins with Empowerment, Jenna McKay with the Jenna McKay Foundation, and Brianna Williams, who were the 3 survivors that came before every public committee hearing and opened up their life and dredged up all of those things that had happened to their lives in order to shine a light on this very sensitive subject matter. And it was really, really courageous for them to do that. I want to thank the sponsor, Ashley Bryant, from Three Strands Global, and all of her hard work to continue to stand by our side as we went through this process. And then everybody else, every Californian, all of the co-authors, like I said earlier, you guys, the media, and the 80 organizations that participated in this process as well. I'll go ahead and end it there and take questions if any of you have some.
Thank you so much, Senator Grove. Now we will move on to the question and answer portion of the media availability. Reporters, producers, assignment editors, when I call on you, please state your name, first and last, and the media outlet you work for. Thank you so much. We'll begin with the Q&A portion. Laurel Rosenhall.
Hi, Senator. This is Laurel with the LA Times. So I guess I'm just a little confused. You're saying that the amendments that were added this morning are just something that's already in the law? Is that what you said?
So based on the information, we just got the amendments about an hour after the committee started, just like 25 minutes ago, is when we had a chance to review them with the technical experts that are helping us. And they did assure us that this does not interfere with putting perpetrators behind bars that sell children for sex. It only again, the bill focuses on repeat offenders, and the amendments were already in existing statute.
So the amendments just repeat something that's in current law. They don't really make a substantive change. Is that your understanding?
The substantive change would be something that did not allow us to put repeat offenders in prison for selling children for sex, and that was the fear that we were worried about when we heard this morning that there possibly could be amendments. But the amendment that was taken is based on the information that we have before us now at this time, just clarifies existing law to protect victims. To protect victims that are wrapped up in the trafficking situation as well. And again, that was not our intent ever to make sure, that was not our intent ever to have a victim prosecuted for human trafficking that was trafficked themselves.
But if they were a victim and then they also became a trafficker, could they be, does this protect them then from being subject to 3 strikes?
The current,
both?
the previous form of the bill did that as well, and this expands on that definition and affirms that previous statute.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Does anybody else have any questions for Senator Grove? I see Nicole with Capital Public Radio here. I see J.W. August, Travis with the Epoch Times, NBC Radio News. Do you have any questions for Senator Grove? We did issue a press release out, and so you can follow with that press release. Does anybody have any other questions before we conclude?
I guess I'll just, if no one else does, I'll jump in with another one. Do any of my other colleagues in the press corps have a question? Senator, I'm curious if you could just speak to the politics of this bill. Obviously, Republicans don't usually get very far with their proposals in this supermajority Democratic legislature, and I'm just wondering, you know, sort of what you think, how you've been thinking about this bill politically. Did it do anything for Republicans to raise this issue? Did the cooperation from Democrats kind of negate any traction Republicans may have made? Like, what is your political analysis of this situation you're in right now?
So selling children for sex in the state of California, or anywhere for that matter, should not be a partisan issue. This is a bipartisan bill with 64 co-authors, and I'm excited to have my Democrat co-authors on this bill, and I'm excited that it passed the Appropriations Committee and it's on its way to the floor with all of those co-authors and principal co-authors added, and then hopefully and then again to the Senate and to the governor's desk. So politically, it's not a partisan issue. Selling children for sex in the state of California is not a partisan issue.
Do you think having a new Assembly Speaker made a difference on this bill? Do you have any comments about the involvement or the role of Speaker Rivas?
So
final question, and Senator Grove will have to get going. So thank you, Laurel.
So I think leadership, we and my team did our entire due diligence and reached out to everybody and anybody that could have their fingerprints on this piece of legislation. And we did our due diligence. And again, I don't think it matters what party. I know we focus on Republican and Democrat here in the state capitol, but across the state of California, it doesn't matter if you're independent, Republican, or a Democrat, or no party preference. I think the majority of the state of California believes that selling children for sex should be a serious felony and perpetrators should go to prison under the three strikes law for a longer period of time if they are repeat offenders.
Okay, well, thank you so much. That was the final question. We do have to conclude the press conference here. Thank you so much, Senator Grove. Thank you so much, everyone, for your participation. If you have any follow-up questions, please do send them to me.
Again, thank everybody who participated in this, including our survivors. And I really appreciate all of you. Please stay diligent. We still have 2 more hurdles before it gets to the governor's desk, hopefully for his signature.